Okay, I've got the reactance wheel keeping this thing balanced. I have printed new driver wheels in the bottom that have grips so to run on any surface, and I'm using a Coke can remote, and which means we can spin it, we can steer it, we can go forward, we can go backward. So this was just a test to see if I could run everything off the one rechargeable battery that's in the reactance wheel, and to test the new gripper feet. I'll give you a close-up of those. Got to shut that off. So basically I printed in black PLA the domed feet and put a notch in it so I could put in a rubber O-ring. And then I just tapped off the rechargeable battery, which is down in here somewhere. There we are, right there. Brought that out. I needed to drop the voltage a little bit. I didn't have a voltage regulator handy, so I'm running it through a few diodes so I can get it down to about 3 volts. I didn't want to overpower the little Coke can remote, which normally runs on like 1.2 volts. I also didn't want to hit the motors with the full 4.3 or whatever it is volts from this, because it'd be so fast that a reactance wheel and be able to keep up might tip over more. So this is all obviously just temporary for a test. So I brought my 2 motor wires up, N20 motors, brought them up to the Coke can controller using the, there's actually 2 drive outputs on the Coke can controller. There's one that's used for steering and one that's used for running the motor in the little teeny cars. They're actually both capable of driving motors. So wired the steering up to one side and the drive motor up to the other side. Like I told you, reduce the voltage a little bit. Got an on-off switch just for the remote. Is that still hooked up? Yep. So you can see, you can turn that way, and it can turn that way. Both wheels have their own controls for that. Slightly modified the Coke can controller in that I moved the buttons around so that I could see if I push the 2 pointing that way, that would be forward, or the 2 that way would be reverse, or kitty corner, it's going to spin in place type thing. One change on the new Coke can units, just like almost all the toys I guess now, they've moved up to 2.4 gigahertz, and they've also moved into where they have to pair with each other in order to work. Not quite sure how I feel about that. I realize they're doing it to save money because they don't have to build devices that are of different frequencies and everything, and they no longer have to include an antenna with a remote, because at 2.4 gig your antenna is just this short little length of wire here. But this was just the next step in seeing whether it would be feasible to do the balancing of VINCENT, all self-contained. And even though I'm leaving all this hanging there so I can remove it, it worked. I was quite pleased with that. I'll put links down below to the first video of this where I'm running these motors off a separate battery pack and on a mouse pad for traction, and the one before that where it's just the inertia driven reactance wheel triangle device that I purchased. So it's just the next step in the process of figuring out how to do this.